Are you at all concerned about the recent what they're calling in Toronto load management, where he's not playing? Do you think this could be something more serious than first thought of as far as the Raptors are concerned?
Well, I think always when it's multiple games that have taken place, I think sometimes, at first we talked about Kyle not too long ago and how it was nothing, and then it turned into be about a 5 or 6 game, probably a little bit longer than that vacation. With Kawhi, I think one of the things is always managing his minutes just from the standpoint of just coming back and not getting to a point where he's fatigued to the point where he's going to try to extend himself during a play. You can't ever hold an athlete back in the middle of competition. But if he's fatigued and you can see that, you certainly want to keep monitoring, especially because of the extent of the injury he had from a year ago.
So, Tom, in a larger sense, we're seeing more and more of this where teams are sitting out their star players. And I can see it. If I'm a fan of a particular team, if Golden State's sitting guys out and I'm a Warriors fan, hey, great, I want to win a championship. But at the same time, if I'm a fan paying to watch them come visit my team, I don't like it. What do you think of it?
Well, I can see it from both sides. Certainly as a coach, I want to make sure that guy's there at the end of the year. And as an organization, I would think you want to make sure that he's there come May, when it gets real. And, so from that standpoint, I can see, the organization wanting to take the steps that they're taking to protect their investment. You certainly, you hate to put it in dollars and cents, but you have a very multi-million-dollar investment there. And so certainly you wouldn't put it in harm's way if you can afford to not do that. The other side of it, as you mentioned, is the fans' perspective. I want to see Kawhi Leonard play if he comes one time, to Sacramento or to Los Angeles or whatever. And the fans obviously are the ones that make the league go, from the standpoint of an interest level. If there was no interest, there would be no league. But I also understand the organization saying that, man, oh man, I got this multi-million-dollar guy I got to protect.
What about from a coach's perspective? I'm not talking per se about the Raptors because they're sitting nice in the standings, but say you're in a playoff battle, a standings battle to make the playoffs down the stretch. And one of your stars, but if one of your stars is like, you know what, sorry, load management. Like if you're a coach, you need your best to try and get those points that night. And if your sports science team is saying, well, sorry, you know what, his reps are tired, he's too tired. Like, wouldn't there be a disconnect if you're a team that's struggling in the standings?
Well, and I've been there before, and I'm going to take you way back early in my career, and early in my career I didn't understand the whole big picture thing, and because you live night in and night out as a coach. I mean, your next victory is the one that you can get tonight, and you're not thinking about the ones that may happen in the future. Because of that, you are more driven to get players back on the floor. But I can remember an older coach that I was on a team. I'll leave the names out of it, but he was pressing to have this player play. Well, the thing that you risk is if the player finds out that you're pressing that, then he doesn't trust you. And so what ultimately happens then is you break down the trust between coach and player because he's viewing it as a selfish side of things instead of what's in the best interest of the player. And as a coach, I think you always got to have that, especially at the professional level. And so I learned very early that this coach alienated himself from a player because of his selfish motives and ultimately lost that player in terms of somebody who's going to play hard for him. It didn't turn out too well.